again, I think. We'll see. Let me check if my audio is working. So I guess... That's gonna have an issue in a second. There we go. Channel. Channel. Okay. Audio sounds like it's working. Everything seems fine. So, a couple minutes late today, but this should be fine. I'm going to do a quick announcement in my Discord server. Finishing up work on... I know that work. Hopefully. Hopefully finishing up work on my neural network in Galaxyscript. Sorry for not streaming yesterday. I didn't really sleep until really late, so yeah, I figured that maybe I shouldn't try to work on fixing the issues that I had without sleep, and that was probably a good idea because I did manage to figure out what those issues were. The issues were really, really stupid. So, the issues were roughly right. I wanted to do one thing before actually. Wait, no. Oh, okay. I'm gonna make my chat pinned. So now it'll be on any screen. Cool. So the few issues, there are 2 issues that I managed to find and fix. This was a 1 here. And I didn't see this for all of yesterday's stream when I was trying to figure out why the ad didn't work. Well, probably because it wasn't initialized. And then there was also... Right, this was just an n.structln instead of an n.structln -1, which I need to be -1 here. I think those were the only issues that existed that I fixed between streams. And I fixed those this morning because I felt like it was going to be a lot of me pulling my hair on stream again, and I didn't really want to be pulling my hair out over the same issue on stream. Not that I won't be driving myself to madness probably this stream. It's kind of tempting to just like make like a working thing here and then switch it between these. Honestly. Oh, a reference that's like working here instead of having it be a weight and bias reference, but this should be fine. I suppose I should show off the effort, the results of my labor. Gonna actually open the map though. Okay. And I'm gonna be doing things slightly differently in terms of Starcraft 2 and like loading stuff this stream. just because I think it'll work a bit better. What I intend to do is, if I can, if it'll let me, hit the key. There we go. So what I intend to do is just leave this on the screen, and then I can move my mouse over here, and then hit Control F9, and that should reload StarCraft 2. And it shouldn't leave the viewers having to deal with too much of the viewers being y'all having to deal with too much of that kind of like brightness suddenly. Just a bit of side brightness, and then see. I did one other thing between streams, but I'll talk about that after the ad happens, because Twitch is going to make people watch an ad, I think, here in a second. Maybe. Twitch would it... I really wish Twitch would at least, like, consistently start these things. And by people, I mean... eh. By people, I mean probably no one. I do not know who would be here yet. But, we shall see if anyone's here. Neat. I guess I could check. How do I check that? Users in chat. Honestly, I don't know who's a real person. Uh, in terms of, like, who's a person, who's a lurker, you know, those are distinct things. I'm kidding, of course. And then, you know, who's the bot that's, like, watching chat for whatever reason. Because Twitch doesn't have one viewer, and I have 3 people in the users and chat section. I know at least Stream Elements is a is bot. Go on. Anyway, ad should be over soon, hopefully. So the really not a fan of running ads. The still though preferable to pre-rolls. The other thing that I did, besides remove some logging, was add these 2 constants and then use them down here just to kind of ensure some ability to get consistent results. I was kind of worried that I was going to have to implement my own random function to do that, but it looks like the game's random function works for this. I don't know if the game's random function is statistically random, so maybe looking into implementing my own random function could be reasonable, but this also isn't necessarily a serious enough project for that, so it'd really just be more being silly. I guess I could go look into that. The random, so it's get random fixed, or random fixed. So, what random do you use? To do. Okay. What random function does C2 use? Yeah, I'm not looking for the actual, like, function. I'm looking for the implementation. Like, okay. This Reddit post right now. Nope, go away. So is this a new Reddit UI? Or is this like the result of one of my extensions? We shall see. Yo, units have there's some examples of RNG. No, this Reddit post is not at all talking about what I am curious about. Here, I'll ask in the CP Master Discord if there's a current conversation going on in the editor thing. Does anyone know the underlying implementation of the random fixed and random? Actually, first I'll search. I suppose I can probably do this on screen. Maybe. Probably not. Random fixed. I don't see anything meaningful about random fixed. So, does anyone know the underlying implementation of the randomness in SE2? Random int. Because it is random int, right? And I guess I can send this on this channel, assuming there's nothing in here. Randomness SE2 for things like random fixed and random int. Okay. Hopefully I'm asking in the right place. Where's OBS? There we go. Okay. I'm gonna ask that. I'll see if I get any word on that. I'll keep my phone handy for that, so I don't have to switch my monitor about too much. My workspace is on that monitor. And then it's like I set the random seed. That is one thing that I did. Sorry, I don't super want to show Discord on screen. I think that see, I don't know about the I'm not the most well versed in streaming, admittedly, so I don't know about the how great of an idea that is. But something gives me this feeling that it is bad, so for now I shall avoid it. So I did show, I believe, the feed forward is working. Now I have to actually implement the back propagation. And I promise I don't know what I'm doing. Not in the slightest. Which means implementing okay, we're gonna learn together. So, no. With resources that I find on stream, mind. I am very good at this. I promise. I'm just honestly the best, obviously. Okay. Initialize network. Yeah, this is Python, but it's fun. So, creates awaits, forward propagate, duration. Now, propagate. I really am not that interested in how you're forward propagating right now. So how are you doing? Yeah, words. Have not talked enough today, apparently, for this. Well, throat is not having fun. So, how are you doing back propagation? Error. So, the expected output value for the neuron output is the output value for the neuron. A transfer derivative calculates the slope of the neuron's output value. What? Error calculation. I know so much of what I am doing, promise. So, backpropagation error signal is accumulated and then determine the error for the neuron and the hidden layer as follows. Phaser signal from the Jace. Okay, it's next. Okay, neuron. How are you doing this? So getting the error. Are you making a list of the error? Making a list of the error. You're setting the error to 0. You're hitting the error. What? Why is there no? Why is there no indentation here? Okay, it's better. Python code is really confusing to read without indentation. Python code is just awful, but without indentation, it's the worst. Okay. So, in theory, I wish for you to and so I need to get the error. And so I think I need, at the very least, another matrix for error. And instead of creating a matrix every time down here or something like that, I think what I want to do is just have a kind of private field up here. So where is my neural network? Right, so I want to do matrix pointer internal. Can I do this? No? Okay. I'm just gonna call you internal. Right, I did want to have my Discord open to see if anyone responded, or on my phone to see if anyone responded to what I sent, asking about the random implementation. Internal error. So then over here, I want to implement the error. Sorry, not implement, add the error. And I do think that now I am going to make it just working. This is slightly bad, but working. Then I can put this here. Get rid of this. Working. Put that there. And then even down here, I will also define working, even though it's really not super necessary. Just because it feels like the right thing to do when I'm kind of doing things this way. So this is output, this is bias, and this is weights. It's biases and outputs. And then I also need a I need to initialize the errors as well. And errors also need to have a outputs, errors, because errors also need to have a working equals, and up here I do want to do and then dot internal error equals out matrix struct1. And I can afford to do this quite a few times, so it should be fine. I think I can do this like 512 times currently if I come over and check in memory. Yeah, 512 chunks, and each chunk is for matrices, I believe 8. Yeah. Which means very. Are you allowed to say that on Twitch like that? Like, are you allowed to just send gay in chat? Has the word been considered, like, reclaimed enough to, like... You won't get in trouble regardless, because I'm not, like, important enough. And I am very gay, so... Matrix. I like the word sapphic. Error plus I. Metallic. So the error is working. I believe that this should be dead. Structure. It is a nice word. You are right. Dot errors. No, internal error. So in theory, now I should, in theory, very much in theory, I should now have an error or matrix, which I can now use in backpropagation. And I guess up here I should do it. Right? So okay. I guess I'm calling it train. And do I want it to be a void? I think I might want this to be a fixed and return the error. right? The average error. Playing more SOTOR? SWTOR? I don't know. I think SOTOR is the generally accepted pronunciation, but also, right, I think we're adding an O in that pronunciation that doesn't exist. Honestly, I believe it. I would believe you sitting in front of like 24/7. Yeah, but like we're adding an O there, aren't we? SWTOR. Because it's SW. No, it might Star Wars The Old Republic. No, we're adding an O before the T. That doesn't exist. It should be SWTOR, you know? Wait, why did it let me do this? Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. That's why it let me do that. Because this was not a there we go. Sort of. Sort of I do. In that eventually I will. I don't really have enough. So I don't have enough subs to get payouts like regularly, but I can get payouts when I get like $50 in Twitch. I don't, am I allowed to say how many subs I have? Does Twitch expose that information? I think Twitch exposes how many. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the Prime sub. Um Now I have 2 subs. Because I think Twitch exposes the sub count, but not the subscriber list. Pretty sure. I got 2 subs currently. Yes, they do, which means it's perfectly fine to at least say the number. 2. The number is 2. Uh, Fixed. And then train. What are you clipping? Please don't. Please do not. Listen, my throat has not been behaving all morning, and I will fight you if that's what you're clipping. But yeah, thanks for the sub there, Chains. The Chainsy. And then train network matrix. For now, I'm just going to tell you to return 0.0. That's not accurate, but so then do I want to return the internal error or do I want to return the error proper? Also, should I maybe do like a sum function over in matrix? I think I'm going to add a sum function over here. Just because that feels appropriate. Um, it's not exactly a proper operation. Well, if I broke the rules, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Twitch. Um, Matrix print. So over, let's say here, I'm gonna put it, and this will be a fixed function, not sum. M. Okay, and then down here under matrand, I want to do fixed mat sum, and then fixed sum equals 0, 0.0, and then do sum plus equals get fixed, and I pull this out. Cool. And then I want to return sum down here. Oh. Everything looks fine there. So this, I just think that this will be kind of useful for like, oh, I also want to do POW if I can. So void mat scalar POW. And I believe that with Galaxyscript, I need to do power, not that. Okay, just POW. So then, I'm just gonna copy this. And do this. And then power. Oh, I keep accidentally scrolling over to the I keep accidentally letting my monitor go over to the other mouse, go over to the other monitor. Heck. And it is not being the most pleasant of an experience. Together. Was that not the right function? POW. It's just POW, not power. Okay. Get fixed. And ideally, I think POW takes the fixed, right? Yeah, okay. So ideally, I'll be taking something like, in this case, it'll just be to the power of 2. And then, do I actually have a square root? Do I want to? So technically I could take the square root, right, by just doing mat scalar pow m 0.5. Or alternatively, I could actually use the square root function here. What I'm curious about is if it would be any faster to use the square root function here. There is a chance that it actually would be in Galaxyscript. Most of the time, I think it's fine to just do otherwise. I guess I could technically like performance test it. Performance testing should be relatively easy in Galaxyscript. But for now, I think that I don't care that much. So I'm just going to use to the power of 0.5 if I need it. Unless the Galaxyscript thing yells at me, in which case I will add the square root. I do not have anything to send channel points on, I know. I'm sinful. I also don't have any emotes, despite having the ability to sub to me. Just because I don't know what I'd make as an emote, right? Scalar POW, set fixed. Okay, over here in matrix. Let's see. Is there anything else I've changed, or is it just that? Scalar POW. Add scalar POW. Add match scalar POW. Add mat scalar or mat sum. And then up at the top, this is something I did. Add empty to mat print. Make error logging better in see, now that I actually have a subscriber watching, I have to still do content. I have to use that level of content with the ads that's about to start, where I'm sorta doing content, but also barely doing content, right? But I think I'm just gonna keep doing all of the content during this ad. I think it'll be fine. Matt, make errors in Matt dot clear in origin. There we go. These are all the changes that I've made to this file. I just wanted to do all those real quick. I haven't even added this file yet, so it's fine that I haven't. Well, okay. So I think that I actually do want to add this now. Initial commit or add neural network.hi or add neural network. Listen, Galaxy, I guess, for now. And then I'm gonna add train at the bottom, and then I'm gonna want to just like be like, yeah, implemented training here, right? I have no idea what a 0 grade 11 artifact gemstone. I don't know what those words mean. Chains. Not the slightest clue. To do. Okay. Yeah, no idea what these words mean. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Okay, so I need to get the error. And to get the error, first things first, I want to set the or int I, because I do want to loop over the inputs, right? So maybe I should do input. Oh, to be a bit clearer with my variable names, I'm going to do input index. I'm going to do a bit of like actual. I know, heresy. Input index, because I do want to loop over each input, and then int I. This will be the layer index. I am not alt tabbing. I am switching between workspaces. I could not alt tab, for I do not have layered windows. Well, I sort of have layered windows if I float them, right? But I can also sort of. I can also pin a window so that it moves between workspaces with me always if it's floating, which is what I've done with my chat over on my other monitor. But my pinning hotkey is a bit iffy right now, so I can also just drag things between workspaces. Oh, by the way, me switching between workspaces is just super and scroll wheel. And I can super shift scroll wheel to switch between to switch between workspaces with a window that I have. The Windows key. For you. Listen, sometimes I call it Windows, but I feel like on stream, right? I have to represent a little bit better and call it Super. Yeah, it's the key you'd call the Windows key, and on my keyboard it is a Windows key. So thank you for the follow, Sablemon. Sorry, my chair is a bit squeaky. Uh, let's find out. There are icons that are usually used on like keyboards, so I think so. I guess it's just the Linux icon, like the penguin, a lot of the time. Probably, but like I don't care enough, right? I use very cheap keyboards. Um, yeah, that's that. I use very cheap keyboards. My current keyboard has the I do currently use. I actually think I kind of prefer membrane keyboards to like mechanical keyboards. I just don't really like a lot of feedback. Like I like enough feedback to know that I've pressed the key, but I don't want it to be loud, too loud at least. I don't want it to give too much resistance. And membrane keyboards are just pretty good about that kind of stuff. I can tell that I have pushed the key down and that is all that I need. That I can feel it under my finger. Um, but my Alt key, my D key, and my C key are almost completely worn. My left Alt. And my S key is sort of a bit worn. Like you cannot tell that my D key is supposed to be a D key. It just there's a little like tiny bit of uh color color on the like top right of it or top left of it, and that's it. This is the state of my keyboard right now. Eventually it'll get replaced. I don't mean F11. It's really nice to have wireless functionality when you need it. That does make sense. I actually have like a really cheap Bluetooth keyboard somewhere around here, and it's honestly one of the best keyboards I have. Um, I can't really use it most of the time, but it's just I really like the way it feels. Because it doesn't give like it's very easy to press the keys, right? But it still gives enough feedback. I also really like the keyboard on a cheap laptop that I have. So I don't know. I feel like I'm the bad keyboard kind of person, right? Oh, I don't actually want to copy on do Metro. Yeah, bad keyboards. Oh, oops. I don't want to be assigning anything here. So this will essentially set the current input to input. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. Matrix. So what do I want to call this? Because I feel like expected is the best word. Outputs. But that does kind of leave it with a bit of overlap. So I'm going to call that expecteds, and then I'm going to call that this expected. Even if that's kind of shaky. And then what? No. Mat rows. Expected. Input index 1. Right, and then what? Where is it defined? I think that you are hallucinating a definition here. No, is not defined previously. Whatever. Put index less than input dot rows, and then I input index plus equals 1. Right, so then we're just kind of looping over all the inputs here. We're setting an expected and an input. Now what we want to do is we want to do feed forward that input, right? And ooh. So in input. I think I might do like just like feed forward and feed forward out. Right, because I kind of want to I don't super want to have to give it an output down here. An output matrix, that is. So and then inputs. But I do want to be able to just kind of get an output. So maybe I should call this no out instead. Because the thought is that I'll probably input. I will probably be doing that. Cool. And then matrix mem do no out. Accidentally ended up on the other monitor again. Cool. I'm gonna copy this up to the definitions up here. Feed forward, no out. Because what this is really doing is just setting all the output layers, which is what I actually want here this time. Or, yeah, setting all the activations, so to speak. But not the activation activations. The this is definitely not going to get at all confusing, even though it might already be. Okay. So let's look at how this backpropagation is actually done here. Updating the bias weight, library controls. This is the derivative. Is this like a generally effective derivative though? Because I thought this was like a sig. I don't. Yeah, this is the this is effective derivative for sigmoid, right? But I don't think it's like an always effective derivative. Okay. So then I want to loop over. No, I should only need the number of. Cool. I should only need to loop over the network for I equals 0, I less than an n dot struct len, I plus equals 1. And then this doesn't actually have biases, does it? Or does it? I don't believe it does. I'm gonna go back to the porting mode of my my capacity, where I am basically just porting code that I have written in. I just got an answer in the just got an answer in the master uh server. So I'm responding to that right now. Sorry. No idea who this person is, so but now I'm gonna ignore that. Oh, neat. Right. Doo-doo-doo. What was I doing? Right, I was gonna open up the some TypeScript code. I guess I can open this up. It's kind of embarrassingly bad. So I'm not sure if I want to open it up, but no, not work. I will open it up on stream for y'all. I'll show y'all what I am considering just trying to port. Clear, and then oop, just put this slightly for a second. How do I do this? How do I show you all this? This nightmare code. I guess what I'll do is just drag it over into this window for now. That should work. So, no, don't do that. Yeah, this is what I'm kind of considering trying to port, and I should add that error checking up here that I do have. That is a thing that I should do. But more so, I think that I'm doing the error stuff slightly wrong, right? Put to get row, distributor. So I'm just gonna try to kind of port this code, and then we'll see if there are any problems with it. Delta's ingredients. Then I also am gonna need transposed versions of those, right? Pain. See, I feel like I should. I feel like I should seek an alternative method for doing this. Which is why I'm kind of thinking. I should try to follow this instead. A bit better. So where are you defining the delta? Where are you getting the delta? Neuron. Your delta is being defined up here. I assume. No. Isn't this just wrong? Isn't this code just like representing things very wrong? Okay, so neuron and network I plus one. But this isn't just a single neuron, right? Because the network is, that's a layer. This is gross. I don't like this. I don't like this code. I mean, I don't like my own code either, but I like especially do not like this code, right? It's fine. It's not gross. I just don't like the way that it is representing certain aspects of the the thing. Also, it's Python, so it's inherently gross, but that's really a flaw in Python, you know? If it helps, all languages are bad. So the delta is errors j times the output. I'm assuming they just didn't want to call it layer because wait, no, layer. Okay, neuron is actually appropriate. Never mind. But is it? Because I thought, oh, that's gross. They're making a number. Wait, no, I do not understand. So wait, is it weights? Okay, but I thought that it was a weights array, not an array of a bunch of. Okay, okay, I see what they're doing. I'll accept this. I'll accept you calling this neuron sorta. Sorta. But only because I think that this is a Python thing that I hate, not a this code thing that I hate. um, so non delta equals errors times the. Eh. So then I wish to set the errors, and I think I should set the output errors first. And I also think that I should set this to struct length -1. A is greater than or equal to 0. I am doing greater than or equal to 0 here, right? No, it's just greater than 0. Interesting. Okay, I'll accept just greater than 0. Assuming that, yeah. And then error here should be errors I. No. So matrix scar weight matrix R weights matrix R biases matrix R error errors. And then technically this should be like a layer error, layer weights, biases, and layer errors, but I don't feel like. Yeah, I'll do that. No. Apparently I just made it weight bias an error. Okay. Weight equals mat mim and n dot weights plus I. Bias equals mat mim and n dot biases plus I. Okay. What's the issue here? Oh, matrix mem. Oops. I forgot that I did a full name here when I did partial. This is great. This is great code. Don't worry about it. Error equals matrix mem and n dot errors, internal error, plus I. And then for the very end of it, I want to do this is the very end of it. I want to set the final error to be equivalent to the output minus the final expected. Or minus the expected, rather. So error equals matrix R mat sub. Here we go. Mat element sub. I know what I am doing. I remember all of the functions that I implemented the other day. So then I want to do ooh, but I don't actually want to mutate the output, do I? Or can I? Am I allowed to mutate the output now? And I should apply... No, I shouldn't. So... I shouldn't actually need the output anymore, I think. Since I'm defining the error. Right? I shouldn't, is the thought. I will assume that I do not unless told otherwise, which also means that I shouldn't actually need an errors thing here, because it technically I can just keep it in the outputs, I think. Outputs. And no, matrix mem output and output plus n dot structlen minus 1. And then for now I'm just going to put a 0 there to stop there. I want to not actually be doing that. I want to be subtracting the expected, but technically I want to be subtracting the output from the expected. So I guess I could just apply a multiplication of -1 to this, right? Or maybe even... Yeah, I think I could just apply a multiplication of -1 to this, even if I do want to be doing that, and it should be fine. Because I am subtracting the error from the target, but subtracting a target from an error... So, like, I'm going to use a node for a calculator here. Or 10 minus 5 should be equivalent to 5 minus 10 times -1. And I don't think that there is anywhere that that shouldn't be the case. So if I just multiply it by -1, then I think that'll be fine. Scalar mults? No. Void mat scalar mult. Hi, cat. Fix scalar. Matrix RM. No, cat. I do not. Please stop. Thank you. So then over down here, I hope I need what I'm doing right now and isn't just like extraneous randomness. Okay, that looks like it should be good now. Mat scalar mult. Error equals boop. Error. Copy this. And then -1. And in theory, that should be essentially the same as subtracting the error, or subtracting the output layer from the expected. It will be slightly longer, though, in terms of how long it takes, but... I guess I could just give it an output instead, like element sub out. But then I kind of want to make an out copy of all of these functions, which might be a bit obnoxious, right? I'll do it anyways. I know. I'm very, very on track, very focused. I guess maybe I could call this no mute or something instead to like note that it's not mutating the. Or I could just call these ones mute, right? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll note that these ones are mutating. Yeah. And technically all of these are going to be mutating in input, but the thing is what input they're mutating, and if I do it like this, then I can have non-mutating quote unquote functions that are instead mutating the like an output element, and I think that'll actually be useful for me here. Matrix are out. Down. I can mouse ending up on the other monitor all the time. Matrix are out. Okay. And then I just want to essentially copy all of these functions, right? But then do a remove the mute part. Add a matrix R out. And then mutate out.data instead of and then I want to do if out dot rows not equals 0 and out dot rows not equals m dot rows. Or I might need a I might need this here. Eh. Out dot calls not equals 0 and well, actually, if out dot rows equals 0, I'm going to assume that you haven't done something bad and just set one of these to 0 so the matrix doesn't need to be freed. Though I guess actually, no, I'm gonna assume that. Uh, actually, so over here in my matrix, I not mean to do that. Over here in my matrix file, right? There is something else I can kind of do that I kind of want to do here in a second. No, I'm gonna do that actually before I do all. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that before I do all this. Equals 0. And that equals 0. Then I want to out matrix mat copy from M to out. And then if the rows aren't equal, or m dot calls out dot calls not equals m dot calls. But I want to just scream at you a little bit. So I want to return because I don't want to be mutating this data. And I want to be like, hey, you dumb. Hey, you dumb. Display error. I kind of want to change the name of this function just because I feel like it's kind of bad, but error in that scalar add output dimensions do not match input dimensions. Okay, I'm gonna cut out that comment now. And I guess what I could do instead is, since what I'm gonna do here in a second is gonna be hopefully let me do something that I want to do. So I want to make it so that a free, essentially, no, I can't do that. Okay. See, sorta I could. So if I initialize the values, I can, but otherwise I can't. Or I could just always treat the, I don't like any of the ways that I could do this currently. Essentially I kind of want to treat m.data in a way that lets me do silly things, but cool. Scalar molt. Okay. What happened to sub? Oh, I don't have a scalar subtract. I have a scalar, or have a element subtract, an element add. Cat, I'd really like it if you wouldn't step there, please. Thanks. So then down here, I'm gonna close this file and reopen it because it's complaining to me about errors that shouldn't exist. Where are you defined? Oh, because this, okay, that makes sense. Sorta. If I don't think about it too hard, it makes sense. What's the other error in this file, though? Output? Undeclared property. Ah, that one actually does make sense. Okay. Let's see. So then I want to copy these functions to matrix out. Cool. And then I want to be modifying the outputs data here. And I want to scream at you if you make the mistake. And I can actually just copy this. This should be me. Or, no, this should be POW. I want to just copy this. But, I do want to make the error checking slightly distinct. No, I'll leave it there. But I do want to make it separate from the function itself. That's because I made a mistake, and this should not be in the mutatable version. This should be in the non-mutatable version. Error and map element sub. Out.data, out.data. Get fixed. Cool. Now, I can do this without doing any copying, any extra looping. I can just come down here and do mat sub. Error, and then I want to put you into error. And then matrix memory. This should be outputs. Or no. No, I can just do expected. Expected. There we go. Expected minus error should go into error because technically I'm overwriting the output, but then that also shouldn't be a problem here because I don't actually need the output again, to my knowledge. I'll check over here to make sure that I'm right about that. So I subtract the output from the error. Or I subtract the output from the target. Then I apply the... Oh, I should be applying the activation before subtracting, I think. Or it's applying the derivative before subtracting, shouldn't I? Or am I silly? I'm not applying the derivative up here, should I be? Give me just a second. Because I think I should be applying the derivative up there. What have I changed since? Oh, the random. Okay. Let's see. So I would be applying the derivative to the output before subtracting the error from it. Sorry, I'm checking something really quick. Checking that I'm not silly and dumb. Now have to apply that. Kinda confused. Just a little bit. What? I'm so confused. Everything has me confused, honestly. I should not have tried to do this. Okay. Okay. But is that not a problem? I'm looking at other code. I apologize. Undo this. Undo my silliness here. Okay. I don't know then. Okay. It's whatever. I don't understand my code sometimes, apparently. But tricks. So I'm getting the error, right? This is the final error. And then error. I'm gonna do error and then error 1 because technically I do want both the error and the error 1 above this, I believe. Error 1. I guess maybe I should do an offset of essentially, so error 0. I just don't really want to keep getting these things, right? Oh, this definitely needs to be minus equals, and I would have definitely forgotten that. um, this should be error 1 and not error 0. Error is I plus 1. So then there it's transposing the weights and matrix multiplying the weights by the errors to get the Oh, okay, so it's initializing the current errors by matrix multiplying the weights by the errors, and then it's going to It is a wonder to me that this code works because I have this is fine. If So I'm gonna need a transposed version of the weights, right? Or is that not actually gonna be needed? Ideally, I wouldn't be transposing at all, but I'd have a addition and subtraction function that pretended to transpose, right? Because then I would need to make a copy or do the work twice, essentially. Hmm. Though, okay, so my data is laid out. I know this is a bit of a tangent, but since I don't really understand what I'm doing, I want to come over here. Do I have a transpose function? I do not. So my data is laid out like this. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then let's say I have 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I shouldn't make it something so simple. So 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So then 1. This is row 1. Column. No, this is row 1. This is row 2. And 1. 2, 3. Right, but then transposing it 3, 2, or 2, 3 would mean it still has the same data, right? But or it still has the same data kind of layout, but 1, 1, 2, 3. Dude, here's 2. So to transpose, let's call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would want to make row 2 into so to transpose, I would do. I am still here, yes. To transpose, I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? To into 2, 4, 6, or 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, I think. Or maybe it's the other way around, but you get the point. So unfortunately, if I do want to do transposition, I do need a transpose function, I think. Unless I do something else fancy. Right? Is there anything else fancy I could do here to transpose without actually creating any new data or anything? Because well, I guess I'll need to create new data anyways, but maybe it's really just like an in-place transposition that would be super simple that I'm looking for. Interesting. 1, 3, 5. Cat. You just spooked me. Surprised to see you here, Diamond. You don't usually chill with me. So then I think that this should be 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. Diamond's the big one. The only large cat we have. Big because older mostly. She's not as much older. She's not as much older from Ivory as she is the kittens, but Ivory's just a teeny little kitty. Ivory's an eternal kitten. Okay. So I don't think that anything to do there. Maybe Diamond's the boss. So let's come back over here. Let's look at what this person's doing, even if it's in TypeScript, or not TypeScript, Python. I was thinking about TypeScript because other thing. Yeah, we do have workouts. All of them are in my room with me right now, I think, except maybe one because my mom is out. Let's see. So I have the output of each layer. I have the weights of each layer. I'll need to make a delta, but where are you getting the delta here? Let's do this. Where are you making a delta here? I guess I should make a train. Not train, an error array. Unless I don't need the outputs anywhere down in the train function. Do I need the outputs down here? Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Which file am I in? Cool. Where am I? nn dot internal nn dot errors equals alec matrix structlen what? Oh, train. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I was real confused there for a second. I was like, what? What do you mean? What are you saying? Okay. Yes. Obviously train. Yeah. Shift tab. Okay. So then this should be the errors. Shift tab. errors. And errors. Cool. Now, I guess I should do matrix output. Boopity boop boop. Equals this. Well, no, I don't. No, go away. Oh, no. I'm not defining the variable here. I am simply using it. There are so many issues with what I just did. It's fine. Do errors. So I'm subtracting the output from the error. I'm subtracting the last output from the expected to make the last error. So that's the kind of first step here. Right. And then do indeed. Do indeed. Da-da. You can also see the sum squared error between the I don't really want to be doing things in Python. Python is kind of gross. Here we go. Here's an article that might be useful. Python hurts me. Python hurts my soul. Enter. No. I'm also not signed into Google at all currently on Firefox. Fun fact, I do not use Firefox as my browser most of the time. I use Google. I only use Firefox for streaming. So that I do not have a so y'all don't see like some embarrassing thing pop up if I type, you know? Yeah, exactly. I don't want you to see how dumb I am. Uh I'm not stalling, I promise. Messages. Okay. What was I doing? Right. Uh so you know how I said I was gonna make this work this stream, right? We'll see if that happens. Uh because the answer it's looking like is probably no. This is probably not happening, but what? Huh? I'm confused. What are you on about chains? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. How did you know? How did you know that is what I aspire to be? That does make sense. Like a physical one in my keyboard though, or like a software one? I guess it would still be software or just be keyboard side. It would be on the keyboard, the software probably. Because I know there's not a intercept on my keyboard, right? Mm, that makes sense. I should stop stalling. I should really stop stalling, but I also don't really want to keep working on this problem immediately. Um, so I think maybe I just should not. No, no. Uh, so I need to calculate the errors, and then I need a delta, I think. I need to store the delta. So the delta should be, what should the delta be? Or is the delta just the error? Where are you defining the delta? Do 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 do. Eh, delta. So you're defining the delta as errors times the um derivative. Errors times the derivative of the output. Okay, so then no, I need to make the deltas, but the delta should be initialized as I think equivalent to the. Oh, interesting. Okay. Eh. I still have not errors. I'll go to the first definition of errors. Matrix, pointer, deltas. And then this is actually going to be slightly different. Eh. Nope, not that. Shift tab, shift tab. Deltas. No, please, thank you. Struct current and struct next. Okay. And I should probably make a transpose function here because I don't have one. That'll go under mat dot. Wait, I wanna first though. Fix. No. Add mute. Non-mutating versions of functions. Rename mutating versions to include underscore mute. Mutiny. Let's see. Up here, then I want to do boop, boop, boop. Output. You need to be mat transpose. Home, Control C. Pop down here. Transposing should be really easy. I just need to swap out the rows and the columns. If that is kind of unfair, you know. Mm. So I want to set if output dot rows equals 0 and output dot calls equals 0, then I want to mat alloc output dot rows output m dot rows o dot calls. There we go. I want to do kind of the same here, but instead of doing exactly the same, I want to do m dot calls m dot rows. That is kind of rooted M, you know. If output rows not equals m dot calls, or output dot rows not equals m dot rows. No, output dot calls not equals m dot rows. Then I want to throw a new error or display error. Error in mat transpose. Invalid output matrix supplied. Return. And then for I want to define int row and int call. Int call. Row equals 0. Row less than m dot rows. Row plus equals 1. Or call equals 0. Call less than m dot calls. Call plus equals 1. Then mat set out put call row. Ooh, but do I want to do? See, transposing is kind of tricky. I think I'm gonna loop over output instead of row call, and then I want to set it to mat get m call row. Right. Now there should be a rough transposition function. So then in here, I want to be like add mat transpose. There we go. All is well. How long have I been live? 2 hours. Cool. Then now that I have a transpose function, let's see. In theory, I really don't want to see. It sounds like a lot of work. I guess what I could do technically is find the largest amount of data possibly needed, right? And then mat alloc it and then use that for certain things that shouldn't need to be reused, but I also feel like that's gonna get kind of sketchy, right? By that I mean I don't want to go through that much work. Unless I do. So let's see. I do need to. What do I? So I need to figure out what I need to use from the last layer and what I don't, if I want to do that, right? And I don't think that I need to reuse the gradients from the last layer, right? I do need to keep the errors because I do actually end up. I do need to end up reusing the errors, but I shouldn't need to reuse the gradients from last layer. I don't think I should need to reuse the deltas rather. I don't think I should need to reuse the deltas from last layer. Meaning that what's really important is nothing matters. No. Should I not be somehow subtracting the it's whatever. This is fine. Mostly. So my thought is that since the way I'm doing things, I kind of just have what's essentially a pointer to a large chunk of data, right? That's been allocated. And what it's really pointing to though is this. So then if I am, of course, as one would know, kind of just explain my thought process here. So then if I were to do, so this could represent an array of size, or not an array, matrix of size. I'm going to make it slightly bigger. This could easily represent a matrix of size 2, of size 2, 3, right? That would make sense. This could represent a matrix of size 3, 2. Or, I could just essentially cut off the actual data that I'm using and make it represent a matrix of size. Still kind of pointing to the same spot, but then the end would be, so the end for all of these would be this, right? So I guess if my cat has decided my lap is the best place to be. I guess the way I would kind of want to do this is, right. So this is how I'm going to do this. So 2, 3, and 3, 2 all use the same kind of, both use the same kind of data amount. But then if I were to make a 2, 2 array, or array matrix, sorry, then I would just be doing this. Right. But I'd have that much data at the very least, because I should have more data. I should have this whole section of data. So if I do want to do that, then what I can do is oh, sorry, 2, 2. If I do want to do this, which I could do, so I could do this for like the deltas here, is my thought. And the actual things so that I don't need to have quite so many. And then I could even have it be a matrix instead of a matrix pointer, right? Okay. Something else I could technically do is... No, I couldn't do that. Never mind. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Instead of making it a bunch of deltas, making it just a single matrix and kind of changing its size whenever I need to. But at the same time, I feel iffy about that. That feels like it's verging into very weird, potentially error territory and getting kind of hacky. Uh, I really just do not know how to feel about this idea. Deltas, weights, I'll put... For now, I will not try to do that. Though also in theory, I shouldn't be reusing the deltas from last layer, should I? I shouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna do it. This is so very unnecessary, but yeah, I'll initialize you at -1, just so that you do become something always. Technically, it should have to be at least 0, but... And then... I think I'm also gonna need gradients, right, for the, since I have biases. And then gradients are going to be if... No. Yes, if struct len... No. Struct current times struct next greater than... Just delta. Then... next. And if... Oh no, struct next. Current next. Then largest gradient equals struct next. Cool. And then... I shouldn't even actually do a pointer here. I should just do matrix. Right. Because it doesn't need to be a... Yeah. Matrix. Delta. Gradient. And then... mat, alec, gradient, gradient, largest gradient, and oh, I'm gonna do I here and I here, and then get int nn dot struct structure largest delta, and then get int nn dot structure largest delta plus 1 alec, and then dot delta, but this should actually be, there should be delta, there should be gradient, and then the gradient should be one get int and it's the struct next, so no, largest gradient plus 1. I think this is right. And then I will be both will have their rows slash calls changed when needed, but are allocated like this to allow both will have their rows slash calls changed when needed, but are allocated like this to prevent using more memory. Right. So then down here, I can then just use an gradient and an delta directly instead of making some stand-in variable for them. Maybe that's kind of silly. Maybe I should change that. Maybe I should make a stand-in variable anyways, but I don't super want to right now. And then I kind of need, I'm going to need to transpose the weights and transpose the outputs, I think. But I could again just make a function for that, right? Because the outputs are the, yeah, I think I'm gonna just make a transposed function too. Or not function, a matrix too. Like if I'm going this far, right? I'm gonna just go this far as well. And Struct current time, struct next. Is also what I'd use for the weights, right? Weights are current times next. I believe they should be. Let's see. Weights. Yeah. So then these and an n dot weight. No, not short weight, dot transposed. And in theory now, I should be able to, without allocating anything in here, so thus not needing to free anything in here, be able to do I think if I less than the struct, no, I less than an n dot struct, then. So essentially, I want to do it on every bit except for that very first one. Errors. Error 1. So mat dot error 1. And then dot transposed, which should have an output into, I think, error. Right? And then so transpose dot rows equals no. And dot transposed. That should be the weight transposed. So weight dot call and dot transposed dot calls equals weight dot rows, and then mat transpose weight and then dot transposed. So I'll output into that. I want to go make sure that that will work. If they're both 0, then alloc a new one. But if they are not both 0, then just check whether or not the output is right. Cool. And then now I shouldn't have any worries about needing to free that, at least here, because I'll free it at the end. Then I need to do Mat copy, I guess. Does Mat copy the data? So where do I have Mat copy? If I do not have any, yes. So if it already, cool. Should I make you, ooh, should I assume that you're allocated beforehand, or should I allocate in here if you're not? Right. I actually really just do not like this copy function. I think I need to allocate in here, maybe? Mm, for now, I'll leave it be because no, because I need to use this function like right now. Unless I have a set function. No, go away. Not up there. Cat. I do not need you in front of my monitors right now. I am trying to do nerd things, like suffer, apparently. I'll use Mat copy for now because it should be fine in this instance. Keyword in this instance. So then I want to copy from the gradient. But I also want to set the grade. Wait a minute. Interesting. Oh, I should also do we'll also need to set the size in here. So then n dot size transpose dot size. Oh, the size. Yeah, we'll need to change because the Mat copy from output into gradient into nn dot gradient though, because technically I'm doing something real hacky here and just over allocating in the gradient and then reusing it so that I don't have to yeah, so I don't have to use more memory. This is fine. Worry not. Not apply. So I want to apply to the gradient a and then no. Activation mem nn dot activations. plus I minus 1. Dot derivative. This should be n dot gradient. Let's see. Then mat element molt. Do I have an element-wise multiplication? Interesting. This should be mutating in this case. I'm gonna add a non-mutating version too, just because I should. No. Yes. Yes, I will. Molt. And then error in element sub. Interesting. I made a typo here. Element molt. Molt. This should be times 1, 2, 3. Okay. Elements molt. And then in both of these places, I'm going to change it to molt. Please work. It would have been faster if I just did it normally, like a normal person, but it's fine. It's fine. I shall fret not. Then multiply here. Mult. Mute. Then I multiply the errors 0 by the gradient. Okay. Then I'm gonna want a learning rate, and where do I wanna? I think I'll pass in the learning rate in the function, right? So then fixed learning rate, and I'm gonna go up over there. Fixed learning rate. Okay, pop all the way back down to the bottom of the function. And then I want to multiply the that element molt, not element, mat scalar molt, mute, gradient, and I want to multiply the learning rate upon it. And then the weight that I'm acting upon there is, so I'm going to call you weight 0. And technically, I'll do weight underscore underscore 1. Right. Because that should basically, since I can't actually have a -1 there, I'm going to do 2 underscores to indicate, you know? Which one's going to just go 1? There we go. Change all of you to 0. And I think those are all the things that I'm going to need. I only need the activation once, so it's fine to just use it here. Weights I-1 to element add. Okay. And then I also want the lesser output, right? So should I do the same up there then? Where am I using output currently? And I'll just copy this line. I should only need the one bias though. We'll hope. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Now that I've got all those variables defined, an n dot transpose equals output 1 dot calls. No. What's up, cat? Rows equals output 1 dot calls. Transpose dot calls equals output 1 dot rows. Size. Output 1 dot size. And mat transpose NN, no, output 1 NN dot transposed. And that should work fine. Then I want to mat dot I want to multiply the transposed by the gradient and the output should be the delta. And I'm going to need to resize the delta to be n dot delta equals n dot transpose dot rows n dot transpose dot cols. Is it so it takes the first element's rows and the second element's cols? Okay. N dot delta dot cols equals n dot gradient dot cols, and then n dot size equals delta dot size equals n dot delta dot rows times n dot delta dot cols. What's the problem here? Oh, delta dot rows. That was a weird way to display that error, but cool. And then finally, n dot weight, no, weight dot add, no, not add, element add, mute, weight, del, n dot delta, mat element add mute. Bias gradient. And then, in theory, I'd also want to make an error sum here. So let's see. Fixed error sum int error count equals 0 equals 0.0. And then error sum, oh, sum plus equals mat sum. The error and this should be underscore s. Cool. Error count plus equals boop, and then I do also want to make you cool. This dot calls. I guess I'll just do expected here because this is equivalent to expected. And then I'm defining the error down here, right? Error 0. And then do I want to do a square error? I think I do, right? So then I should do... That sounds annoying. I'm just going to return the error itself. Though, that doesn't really work, does it? But to return the square error... Wait, I can just do it after the error is no longer needed, right? So then... Error 1? Nah, because I'm not using that error anymore, right? After I... Okay, cool. Then instead of doing this up here... 1 second, I'll be right back. I apologize. I think I am back. My cat was mounting up a storm, and I thought I heard a noise of some sort. I wasn't sure what it was, so went to go check it out. I think all should be well. Hopefully. TM. Cool. Matt, pal, 1, 2. Matt, scalar. I don't know why you would ever need an element-wise power, but and then what's the problem here? Oh, it's not. It's just underscore. Okay. Error 1 to the power of 2. Cool. And then down here, after all of this, I want to do matrix mat scalar pal mute a yeah. Matrix mem and n dot errors. I don't know why I made that all caps there. That shouldn't have been. That was the wrong thing anyways, so not sum. And then finally error count plus equals that dot calls. Return error sum plus or divided by error count. Cool. And then I also kind of want to take an iterations value, right? So then int iterations. This is kind of how many times I'm training, right? So then let's do int iteration equals 0. No, not equals 0 up here. And then I'm just gonna wrap all of this niceness in this. And then pop up here. And didn't roll by 1. Cool. Then I wish to. I think that's actually it. I think that's everything that I need to do for this to theoretically. Emphasis on the theoretically because I'm not super sure about this. Theoretically, this should work. So then I want to do just oop. And then pop up here, do this. So then do that. There we go. Okay. And then if I come back over into the main, right? And then I display debug pre-training before training, right? I'll do pre-training. There we go. And then post. And then just to do pop up here. Boop. And then I want to do in train. In inputs output. No, expected. Then I need iterations and a learning rate. So I'll do 10 iterations and a learning rate of 0.1 for now. Right, just kind of test it out. See if it's getting any better. Or changing at all. Dereferenced a null pointer in line 200. I know it says line 201, but it lies. It's always one off for whatever reason. That's not good. What? What? Now I'm just confused. Because the input index, right, is the what? Oh wait, no, okay. Wait, no. Okay, so debug print. No, not debug. Display debug. Int to string input.rows. Because I think that's the only thing that could give an error on the line that I think it's giving an error on. Wait, how's it even possible? How can input.rows be null? What have I done? Because that's still line two, yeah, line 200. I'm real confused. Oh, that's why. This should be inputs rows. Okay. Admittedly, slightly confusing naming. These should all not be references, but instead be matrices, except the ones that should. Okay, so really just input should be a matrix, right? And I think expected. Okay. Line 232, 232. Invalid matrix dimensions and that. Well, there is another error, but I'm also not sure how much longer I want to stream today, right? Because apparently I am tired. Invalid. Okay, but like, what if I ignore that, right? And just do that. Then what? What happens now? That's what happens? Okay. Um, yeah. So in the add, invalid matrix dimensions. Why is it invalid matrix dimensions? I think I'm using the wrong matrix somewhere is my best guess. The rows, the delta should be that. Or maybe they don't even need to be transposed, right? Maybe Wait. I'm gonna try just doing output. Here, right? Because maybe it was a bug in my other implementation that I've technically fixed over here due to something I've done. No. Okay. But now I should do this, right? If it for some reason still does the thing, okay, it doesn't do the thing rather. Okay. And then the post-training result input row. Train and then input expected 0.1. That's what to do. Okay, all of that should be rightish. Everything that needs to be there should be. Now invalid matrix functions and matrix element add. So it's in element add. Is it in element add or element add mute? Did I forget to clarify what I was logging there? Element add. I think I did. I must have. I'm actually turning caps lock on for once just because it'll be easier that way. And then cool. Control F9. I want to get rid of, I think, over here, everything but the train, just so that I know what the issue is. Or just so that I can more easily track down what the issue is. Because the error and the debug go into the same place. And now it does say mute, right? I think so. So then, matrix print weight 1 and then dot delta. And then I guess I should do display debug. Wait. And then boop, 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 boop. Delta. They all seem to be the same sizes. Cool. So then bias. Bias. Gradient. Bias gradient. Oh, okay. The bias is empty sometimes. That means that I'm defining the bias wrong up here. Oh, this should be -1, shouldn't it? Am I getting an error now? No error? Cool. Then main. Do this, get rid of all this debug display in here. Run again. And oh, I forgot to turn that back on. It's okay. Because I kind of want to increase this to like 1,000 too, right? Okay, this is not what I wanted to see. Definitely not what I wanted to see. I did not want to see them all become 0. If I do it with like 10. 100. Come on, please. Please run. Suddenly 0. Okay. What if I do something like this? What if I'm like, hey you, get like bigger and use sigmoid. 10,000, let's try that. They have all become 1. That is not what I was aiming for. I do not know what I have done, but it is wrong. Okay, let's take a look back, see back at this. So all of the sizes are right. So let's first look up in here. So I'm transposing the weight and then multiplying the last error by that transposed weight to get the current error. I believe that should be correct. Then I'm just saying, okay, I don't really need this last error anymore. What if I do away with this part, right? Is maybe I'm accidentally doing... No, cool. I was pretty sure that this wouldn't be affecting anything here, but I wanted to make sure. So then I am copying the output to the gradient and my copy function over here. So that's the oh wait. Interesting. These are bad. I should not be doing this because I really should be is that the problem? No. Okay. I technically need to allocate things before I copy them. And I don't really want to fix that because, yeah, I don't really want to fix that. Set fixed. To data, I get fixed. From data I. And then 2 calls, 2 rows, 2 size. Cool. So the copying here should all work. So I'm copying to the gradient from the output. I am applying the activation derivative. I am multiplying by the errors. And I am mutating, or I'm multiplying by the learning rate, which all looks good. What if I just cut out this learning rate bit, right? That hopefully shouldn't do anything, but what would you do then? Exact same behavior. Cool. That's what I expected. That's what I was hoping for. If it wasn't the exact same behavior, we'd have a problem. But we do have a problem, so output -1, essentially the last output gets transposed. Then I am multiplying that transposition by the gradient to define the delta. And then I am multiplying or adding the delta to this and adding the gradient to the bias. What if, should I be subtracting instead? Is that the problem? So, nope, probably not. Maybe not. Pretty sure it's not, but like, what if I just train you a lot more, right? What if I tell you train just a bunch? Do all of the training. I think due to how I'm doing this, this function is happening at the very, very beginning, and I should probably actually make it a like thing that happens on the map init. So how do I do that? map init. So then I guess I should do trigger. No. Trigger on init, right? And then void on and no. Bool on init. Then triggers should be taking trigger create. Here we go. Trigger create a function. No. Oh, am I passing in the function name? That's so janky. That's so janky. Okay. Okay. Trigger create. No. Trigger create on init. And then I want to do on init equals that, but then on init func. Okay. And then game trigger add event map init. Trigger add event map init on it. Right. And then if I just copy everything from here up into here. And then I want to just return to at the end. All of this too. This is fine. I'll move the trigger create into the function just a second. There we go. So now all that the main function is actually doing is making an on init function and then calling that. And now, what? Error in on init not a function not found. What do you mean function not found? This function exists. I tell you. Okay. Trigger create. This shouldn't be on init though. This should be on underscore init. Technically, I think. That won't change this error, hopefully. If this changes this error, I'm gonna cry. Okay. So what's the actual issue with this? Is it that I'm not taking 2 pools here? I forget what they actually do, so run pool suffer. No, one of these is test conditions. I think it's test cons run, right? Something like that. Oh, I did not mean to open you. So I want something that runs after the map is actually like loaded in. Once the player can see the map, I want this to run. Also, yeah, I'll cut this length a little bit, but mm-mm. I think though, for that part, that might have to be next time. Obviously, this is not working in multiple ways because this should not ever get me. Oh, I see what the problem is. Okay. Since I'm setting the output. Okay. I'll fix that problem before I end the stream. Because if I fix that problem and it works, then the only real problem is the execution time, which I'll need to figure out anyways if I want to keep playing Galaxyscript, and we'll see if I do that next time, or if I play something else, or not play, do something else next time. I probably will not be playing anything. Maybe I'll do some competitive programming, though. So, where am I mutating the output? Here, I think. No. Where I mutate output? Um, does it happen even without training? I have a sneaking suspicion it might. But if it doesn't, oh, am I silly? Am I silly or what? I think result is not initialized, is it? And feed forward isn't actually initializing this, is it? Am I silly or what? The answer is maybe. Me there. Okay. Matt Alec. Result 1. 1. Cool. Now, in theory, why is it? I didn't even turn the training back on, did I? Oh, I did. What? Okay, I'm gonna turn the training back off. There's still a very obvious bug here. Input. Input should be for 2. Oh no, that's right now. Okay, never mind. There's not a bug, I'm just silly. The first one is meant to be 0, 0. Okay. Now that that bug is fixed, I have another bug. And I do want to try this. I could also try something like a Relu-y thing. Sub. These should maybe be add. What I really want is to see all of these get significantly closer to what they should be. Nope, sub looks like it might be better. Unless add mute is just broken. And then train. 100. Let's see. What about like 10? Because the ones that are supposed to be closer, I think, are technically staying slightly closer, right? Or am I crazy? I'm crazy. So I do think add is right over here. I do think that these should be add. Speaking of add, apparently one is running now. But then that's causing this to just become 0. Is this a data precision thing? I hope this is not a data precision thing, because that would be annoying. Let's try just training with 1, though. Okay. So it got slightly further from being correct. What about 2? It got slightly closer to being correct. Sorta, on some of them. What about 10? Is it 0 by 10? They're all 1 by 10. What about 20? Interesting. What about 9? 5. Let's try you. And what if I'm using sigmoid and sigmoid derivative here? I think technically the derivative of the none should be like 1. Just return 1, but I might be wrong. 100 here. A 1,000 here. Interesting. Well, I do not know what I have done. I do not understand anything, honestly. So, next time that I stream, I shall fix this. Hopefully. Maybe. And that shall be the end of maybe the end of the neural network stuff. We'll see. We'll see if there's anything else I can think of that I really want to do in the neural network department here. Maybe make it actually better, but at the same time, I feel like there is only so much you can do with with the skill that I have and the tool set that I've given myself. So yeah, I think that'll be the end of the stream. Thank you all for watching, anyone who is still here or is watching the video for whatever reason. Thanks. Thanks for sticking around. Glad to have you all. If you enjoyed the stream and are still here and want to see more, feel free to follow. That's about everything. Thanks. Bye.